So characteristics of image, that is it always gives virtual and erect image. The size of the image is equal to the size of the object, that is object size. If you take it as h, image size will be h prime. So the h is equal to h prime, so that means h is equal to h prime means the second one, that is size of image is equal to the size of the object. The third one is the image formed as far behind the mirror of the object in front of it, that is it says that the object distance is equal to image distance. The distance from the object to the mirror is same as the distance from the object to the image. And in the case of plane mirror, it always gives laterally inverted in the sense. So what is lateral inversion? So lateral inversion means you take an image like you are standing in front of a mirror like this, raising the right hand. So if this is the mirror, in the mirror it will show raising the other hand. So lateral inversion means the right side of the object, so the right side of the object appears left side of the image, and the left side of the object appears right side of the image. So this is what we call it as lateral inversion. So plane mirror always gives lateral inverted image. So application of lateral inversion, that is the word ambulance is written as like this. You can see here the word ambulance will be written like this on vehicles, so that it can be read correctly in the rear view mirror of vehicles going in front of it. That is the application of lateral inversion. So let us move on to the next topic, that is spherical mirrors. Mirrors whose reflecting surface is curved. Mirrors whose reflecting surface is curved, we call it as spherical mirrors. So in spherical mirrors we will come across two. One is convex mirror and one more is concave mirror. So let's see what are the differences between concave mirror and convex mirror. So here you come. So in the case of concave mirror, so this is the reflecting surface. In the case of convex mirror, this is the reflecting surface. Okay. In the case of concave mirror, so this is the concave mirror and this is the convex mirror. In the case of convex mirror, the reflecting surface is curved outwards. So the reflecting surface is, I have marked already, this is the reflecting surface. The reflecting surface is curved outwards in the case of convex mirror, whereas in the case of concave mirror, the reflecting surface is curved inwards. You can see from this, the reflecting surface is curved inwards in the case of concave mirror. Convex mirror is also called as diverging mirror because it diverges the rays after reflection, whereas concave mirror is called as converging mirror because it converges the rays after reflection. Okay, so these are the differences between convex mirror as well as concave mirror. So let us understand few terminologies associated with mirror. So in this diagram you can see principal axis, you can see M and N, you can see center of curvature here, you can see pole, you can see R radius of curvature, you can see F focus, and you can see small f, that is principal focus. So let us discuss one by one. So first one is principal axis. So principal axis is the line joining the pole and center of curvature. So this is pole and C is center of curvature. There is a line joining the pole and center of curvature. This line we call it as principal axis. This line, the line joining the center of curvature and pole, we call it as principal axis. So then what is pole? So pole is the center of spherical mirror. So if this is a spherical mirror, so this is the center. So this center we call it as pole. Okay, so pole is the center of spherical mirror. Then aperture, next is aperture. I already said this is M, this is N. So Mn is the aperture, it is the effective diameter. So the effective diameter of the spherical mirror, we call it as aperture. So aperture means it is the effective diameter of the spherical mirror. So in this chapter we will not consider the aperture, we will consider small aperture. Okay, so next is center of curvature. So center of hollow glass sphere. So center of hollow glass sphere of which mirror was a part. Okay, we call it as center of curvature. Like mirror, if this is a sphere, we will cut the mirror like this, so and we will polish one side. So when we polish the one side, the other side will become reflecting. Okay, so the center of hollow glass sphere, so this hollow glass sphere will have center. So this center, it is represented by letter C. The center of hollow glass sphere, of which the mirror was a part, we call it as center of curvature. Next one is radius of curvature. You can see this R, capital R, it is the distance between the center of curvature and pole, we call it as radius of curvature. Next one is focus. F, capital F is the focus. So the light rays after reflection from the mirror will actually meet at one point, so that point we call it as focus or principal focus. So you can see the point on principal axis where all parallel light rays actually meet or appear to meet, we call it as focus. Okay, if they actually meet, we call it as real focus. If they appear to meet, we call it as virtual focus. Okay, so next, focal length. So the distance between the pole and the focus, you know, P is the pole, capital F is the focus. So it is the distance between the focus and the pole, we call it as focal length. Clear? So the distance between the pole and the focus, we call it as focal length. Let me explain once again. First one, principal axis, the line joining the center of curvature and pole of the mirror, we call it as principal axis. The second one is pole, the center of spherical mirror, we call it as pole. The third one is aperture, it is the effective diameter of the spherical mirror. And fourth one is the center of curvature, the center of hollow glass sphere of which the mirror was a part, we call it as center of curvature. Radius of curvature is the distance between the pole and the center of curvature. Focus, so focus is the point on principal axis where all parallel light rays actually meet or appear to meet after reflection, we call it as focus. So focal length means the distance between the pole and the focus, we call it as focal length. So there is a relationship between the focal length and radius of curvature, that is F is equal to R by 2. So you will have derivation in the foundation classes, so that will be done later. So for now, time being, understand just the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature, that is F is equal to R by 2. Or you can see from the diagram, that is the this is a small f and this is radius of curvature. So this distance and this distance, the total distance is 2f. This 2f is equal to r. So this is what it says. When 2f is equal to r, so f will be equal to r by 2. Clear? So next we will move on to the rules for making ray diagram by concave mirror. So these are the rules you need to understand clearly, so that you can easily understand the formation of image by concave mirror as well as convex mirror. Okay, so first rule says that a ray parallel to the principal axis pass through principal focus after reflection. So you can see from the figure. So in the figure, so this is the ray passing parallel to the principal axis. Principal axis means the line joining the center of curvature and pole. Okay, so a ray passing parallel to the principal axis. So this is the ray passing parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, it always passes through focus. This is the first rule. If a ray passing parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, it always passes through focus. So this is the first rule in the case of concave mirror. The second rule states that a ray passing through principal focus of a concave mirror emerge parallel to the principal axis. Let's see. So this is the second one, that is, if a ray passing through focus, after reflection, it will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So this is the principal axis, this emergent ray is parallel to the principal axis. If you are sending a ray passing through focus, after reflection, it will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So the next one is the light ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror is reflected back along the same path as it is normally incident ray. So normally incident ray in the sense, if you send a ray normally for a plane mirror, okay, after reflection it goes normally because it has to follow the laws of reflection. So in the case of this, like uh, it has to pass through center of curvature. Actually the diagram here given is wrong. So if a ray passing through center of curvature, after reflection it follows the same path. Clear? If you are sending a ray passing through center of curvature, after reflection it follows the same path. And the last one is, if you are sending a ray obliquely, so the ray will reflect back obliquely. So this is the last one. So let's see. A ray incident obliquely to the principal axis of a concave mirror is reflected obliquely, making equal angle. In all the cases, I forgot to mention, in all the cases the it holds laws of reflection, that is always angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So if you are sending a ray obliquely, that is if the incident ray is appearing to pass through pole, that is what we call it as obliquely. Okay, so here it reflects back obliquely. So if you send a ray obliquely, it reflects back obliquely. So these are the four things you need to understand in first case. Like in the first case, if you are sending a ray parallel to the principal axis, after reflection it will pass through focus. In the second case, if you are sending a ray passing through focus, after reflection it will emerge parallel to the principal axis. Okay, the third one is, if you are sending a ray passing through center of curvature, after reflection it will follow the same path. Fourth one, if you are sending a ray obliquely, after reflection it will go obliquely. So these are the four rules. So now let us understand the ray diagrams. So for understanding ray diagrams, like we will place the object at different places. So once we place the object at different places, we will understand the nature, size and position of the image. Okay, so first one, we will place the object at infinity. So you can see the incident rays. These are the two rays incident on the concave mirror. So after reflection you can see the two points are meeting, the two rays are meeting at this point, that is A dash B dash. So you can see the rays are actually meeting. So since the rays are actually meeting at a point, so the image formed is real. I already said while explaining the differences between real image and virtual image, if the image is real, it is always inverted. So in this case what we can say is, if the object is at infinity, the image position will be exactly at focus. You can see from the diagram the image position will be exactly at the focus. And its nature, it is always real and inverted. And position, that is size. Next one is, that is size. Size is, it is point sized or highly diminished. Highly diminished in the sense it is too small. Okay, so when the object is placed at infinity, so what are the things? When the object is placed at infinity, the image always positioned at focus, and its nature is real and inverted. Size is point sized or highly diminished. So next we will move the object behind center of curvature. Here you can see we will move the object behind center of curvature. When we place the object behind center of curvature, see one ray after reflection it is passing through focus, one more ray they are taking through center of curvature. So if you are taking a ray through center of curvature, after reflection it will follow the same path, it will reflect back in the same way. So these two rays after reflection they are meeting at this point. This point is the point where the image is formed, that is A dash B dash. You can see directly and you can say directly the image formed is real and inverted and it is diminished. See, you can compare the size of object as well as image. So object it is a bit taller, image is smaller, so you can see it is diminished. So you can see the position of the image as well. It is situated between center of curvature and focus. So let's say the character. When the object is behind C, the nature of image, that is it is real and inverted, position is between focus and center of curvature, and size is diminished. So next, when the object is placed at center of curvature, so you can see object is placed at center of curvature, one ray is going like this. After reflection, it passes through focus, and one more ray, you pass the ray through focus. After reflection, the ray will go parallel to the principal axis, so these reflected rays will meet at point A dash. So that means the image is formed at this point, that is A dash B dash. So you can see the height of the object AB is same as height of the image A dash B dash, and the object placed at center of curvature, image is also at center of curvature. So you can say easily that the position when the object is placed at center of curvature C, image is also obtained at center of curvature C, and its nature is real and inverted, size same as that of the object. So now next we will place the image between center of curvature and focus. So when we place the object between the center of curvature and focus, that is AB is the object, your one ray is passing through passing parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, it is passing through focus, and one more ray you take through center of curvature. So when you take a ray through center of curvature, after reflection it follows the same path. So these two rays are meeting at this point, that is A dash B dash. So you can see here, you can see the object size is bit smaller compared to the image size. So when the object is placed between center of curvature and focus, the position of the image is beyond C, and its nature is real and inverted, and the size is enlarged. Okay, so next we will place the object at focus. When the object is placed at focus, so what are the things going to happen? So one ray we will take parallel to the principal axis. After reflection it passes through focus. One more ray we will take through center of curvature like this. So after reflection it follows the same path. As these two rays are parallel after reflection, so they will not meet at any point, but we will imagine that they will meet at infinity. So the image formed in the case when the object is placed at focus is infinity. So position of images at infinity, its nature is real and inverted, and size is highly enlarged. Because it is formed at infinity, we can take its size as highly enlarged. The last one, when the object is placed between focus and pole. So when the object is placed between focus and pole, so one ray we will take parallel to the principal axis. After reflection it will pass through focus. One ray we will take through center of curvature. As these two rays will never meet here, we will draw these two rays backwards, so they appear to meet at one point here, that is A dash B dash. Since they appear to meet at one point A dash B dash, so as the rays are appearing to meet, we call this as virtual. If the image is virtual, it is always erect. You can see it is erect, it is always upright. So in the last case only you will be getting the nature as virtual and erect. Here the position of the image is behind the mirror, nature is virtual and erect, and size is enlarged. You can compare the object size and image size. The size of the object is bit small compared to the size of the image, so that is why it is enlarged. So these are the ray diagrams. I will explain you once again. When the object is placed at infinity, the position of the image will be at focus, its nature is real and inverted, and the size is point sized. When the object is placed behind C, the image will be formed between focus and center of curvature, its nature is real and inverted, and size is diminished. And when the object is placed at center of curvature, its position of the image is also center of curvature, its nature is real and inverted, and size same as that of the object. And when the object is placed between center of curvature and focus, you will get the image behind C, that is A dash B dash, and size is enlarged. And when you place the object at focus, you will get the image at infinity, and size is highly enlarged. Nature is same, real and inverted. And when the object is placed between pole and focus, the position of the image will be behind the mirror. Its nature is virtual and erect, and size is enlarged. So these are the uh, image formation in the case of concave mirror. Let us see what are the uses of concave mirror. So concave mirror is used in torches, searchlights and vehicle headlights to get powerful parallel beam of light. And concave mirrors are used by dentists to see large image of teeth of the patients. When you place the object between pole and focus, you will get virtual, erect, enlarged image. So this is the application the doctors, dentists will use. And the third one is concave mirror is used as shaving mirrors to see large image of the face. So here also, when the object, that is when the face is placed between focus and pole, you can see your face in the mirror as virtual, erect and enlarged. Okay. And the last one is large concave mirrors are used in used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnace. So solar furnaces are the devices used to produce large amount of heat. So concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce large amount of heat in the case of solar furnace. Okay.